All right, good morning, everybody. Today is February 19th, and as usual, we'll be looking at US 30 and US 30 gold and BTC entries. So starting off with the higher time frame entries, you can see that this is the trade that I sent out yesterday for gold. And I did mention this is like a swing trade. It has a $80 TP and $80 stop loss. And we are still getting a rejection here for gold around 29.39, 29.40 area. So you can see even with the daily candle, actually we have two rejections. So we have a daily rejection and hourly based rejection. So that's a pretty heavy confluence for resistance and for sell. And you can see we're still in a supply zone, but this is ideally a pretty big trade that may go on for days, if not weeks. For the 4-hour time frame, there's nothing here. We have this rejection entry for a buy on US 30 down here at 44,185. On gold, we don't have anything currently for the 4-hour time frame. On the 1-hour time frame, there was this entry that I see here. However, it's in an area where demand or supply and demand are overlapping. So, and the one that I mean is this one right here. The one that I'm talking about is this one that's right here. However, you can see that we are in a, give me 1 second. You can see that we are in a zone of overlapping supply and demand. So you can see within this green zone, we have that red zone. So we don't want to be trading in a zone where supply and demand zones are overlapping. Now, this might be one of those trades that I was mentioning yesterday that you can wait for the reversal back up, ideally like setting a pending order here, like a buy order with like a 20-point TP and 20-point stop loss. Uh, but we'll see. Let's see. I'll set an alert here and we'll see what happens if US 30 comes back here. So this alert, you'd be setting it ideally. Let me see. So this entry would be at 421, 425. So that's a 4-point difference. Give me 1 second. Let's see. 20-point. Let's see. Set a pending buy. Let's see. Give me 1 second. 5 points for this would be 423.54. So let me see. So we'll try out a pending buy order here and see if we get a rejection to the upside here. So when you're doing this, and these are like scalps, quick scalps. So this one, you wouldn't care whether price is or the zones are overlapping because you're going for a quick 20 points TP and 20 points stop loss. Because so long as your TP is your TP is away from the zone in question, you should be fine. But I want to see if this triggers up here at the top here. So the reason you want to take it above this zone is let's see. So not yet. So you want to see if it triggers above this zone right here. And let's see if that happens. So still not yet. All right. So I don't know if it's going to come back up, But yeah, so the reason you want to take it above that zone is because you'd expect a quick spike back to the upside. Let's see. So still have this pending order. But if this candle now attempts to close as a bearish candle, then there wouldn't be any need to even look for that entry. So anyway, that's on the larger time frame. So if we come back down to the lower time frame, so this gold one has already picked, but that one would have already gone back up. So with this gold one as well, on the lower time frame, and this one happened pretty quickly, 9:31. So this one would have gone in like somewhere around there. Yeah. So this one would have already picked and hit TP. Mm, I don't see any other one. Let's see this one here for US 30. See if we get something here. So not yet. Again, this is at so 23, 4. All right. BTC. Okay. So I'll set another alert here in case it comes back up there. And then we'll just go over some of these other alerts. So these others are from the trendline and SAR rejection entry or the chart, which is on the other side of my screen. So BTC rejection resistance, 15-minute. Let's see. Okay, so for BTC, possible sell on BTC, US 30 rejection support. No, US 30 BTC. Okay, so for BTC, what we'll do here for BTC is this. Okay. For BTC, this would be 50. BTC. All right. Trendline plus SAR rejection. All right. So I'll share the other chart. So here, let me share the other chart. All right, so this one for BTC, we have a trend line rejection, so rejection resistance. And then let me see. So US 30 trade got triggered. So US 30 trade got triggered, and let's see how it goes. But anyway, so for BTC trendline plus SAR rejection, you can see here there's a rejection from the top trend line. And then if we turn on the SAR levels, it closed below 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 SARs. So we wait for price to come to the most optimal SAR, which is here. So for BTC as well, for this trade, if we get back up here to this SAR, I'll be looking to take a sell on BTC if price does come back up here before going down. And if we turn this off and turn on the zones, you'll see that we are in a heavy supply zone here on BTC. So this is a trade that I'll also wait on. So we might get that one as well during the live session. So what I'll do here is I will set this pending. I'll set an alert here for BTC around this area. And if price hits this area, I'll look for a sell. And this would be a $500 TP and $500 stop loss for BTC. So, but price has to get up here first before swinging back to the downside. And also here for BTC, you can see we just had a break of support. So price also broke this support line. So I would want for BTC to come back up here, tap here, and then move back down here. So we'll see if that happens there. Let's see. Um, for which one else? And um, so we go back here. Um, all right. So other than this BTC one, I really don't see anything else here, even on the higher time frame. All right. So what we'll do then, we can move back to the other chart right here. So this one, so this US 31, this one would have gotten triggered on the way back up. So remember, this one, we are just doing a bunch of forward testing with this quick 20 quick scalps for the rejection. So this one would have gotten triggered all the way back up. I think when I said it got triggered and then came back up, I think this one, by the time it came back up, I think this one would have gotten taken out. Um, so again, this one you just wait for price to go to the next area. So for this scalps, when they got triggered, so you either do like a 10-point stop loss and like 20-point TP, and then you do break even at the 10-point, or you can just do a 20-20, like a 1:1. You get more entries with this, but more entries also open you up to, for example, over trading and all. So I think this one, if it got triggered, I think it probably came up halfway, and this one would have reversed and come back down. So again, that's the other downside of, this some of this entries that show up a lot because you get a bunch of entries ideally at the same time. So the other one is, so let's see if we'll find another one to follow here, because I know the alert for this one already went out. So we'll see, try and see if we can find another one to follow here. So there's this one on gold that's all the way up here. And let's see what zones we have here. So there's this possible one on gold that we can also follow if price does decide to get here. But it has to be like in a red zone, which it is. So this one we can also follow as well and just see how this ones would go. Now keep in mind these are just like it's not my normal trades. So these ones are just we just want to follow them because it's like quick scalps. But this one would be like what? $2 TP and $2 stop loss. So let's see if this one would get triggered and how price would react with it if it gets there. But on the high time frames where I just do my main trades, I don't see any entries whatsoever. See. So the only one I'm in is this particular one, this one here for gold on the daily time frame, but and let's see for BTC if price is coming back up to see if we'll get that sell. So BTC, I'm still waiting as well. So I'll input my parameters for BTC just so that I'm ready for that one if it does come in. So for today, I think the only uh, official trade would be that BTC trade if it does validate BTC sell. If we do get a pushback to that level that I showed you guys. But other than that, I really don't see any other potential entries. So again, this rejection scalps, we'll just be following them. If it lines up with any of your confluences, you can feel free to take them. But for me, the accounts I have, I only trade this larger time frames and just the regular rejection entries. So I'll just stay on the stream. So for maybe, so let me switch to the other chart that we are waiting on for that trade. So I'll share the other chart for BTC, which is this one. So this is the only trade right here that personally I'm waiting on. This sell on BTC. So price has to come back up here, and then I would look for an entry around, this is 96,400. So that's where I would be looking to sell. On the other hand, you can see we've already had a break of structure. So you can see we have a prime break of support here on BTC. So BTC can just melt from here where it is because we've already had that prime break of support. But what I'm hoping for is a retest of this zone right here. And then that's where I would be looking to take the sell on BTC. But everything else is, unless we get a, for US30, unless we get a rejection support here and closure above this SAR, that's the only time I would be looking to take US30. So possible US30 buys on the 15-minute time frame, but we have to have a rejection and closure above any of these SARs for me to take a buy here. Now, the good thing about buys so far is this wicks right here that are forming, and you can see that they're forming pretty much possibly some higher lows. But until we get any confirmed entry, not looking for anything. For gold, price is in between the supply and demand. Oh, I'm sorry, the top and bottom trend lines. So I don't see anything on gold unless we get that 15-minute entry or scalp. And again, the other one is BTC. That's right here. So you can see BTC has melted or is melting down. So I don't know if we'll get to, or we'll get to come back up here. So since I'm doing or was looking to do a $500 TP and stop loss, if price gets towards where my TP would have been on the trigger of the rejection resistance candle, which is this one, then so if price gets here first before coming back up here, I'll just go ahead and close out this alert here and close out the markup here. And for the hour time frames, nothing really. Uh, oh, interesting. Here on the hourly time frame, this is an example of a rejection resistance trade on BTC, but this one already went through. So you can see we had a rejection resistance here, this one right here. So this one would have been an entry either on this candle or on this candle right here, so with stop loss above the previous high, but that already went away with BTC. Let me do a bar replay quickly here. Let's see. Yeah. Uh, mm, all right. Yeah. So for Oh, Audrey said news at 2 p.m. What kind of today's what, Wednesday? So it might be, if it's Wednesday, it must be, what is it? FOMC yeah. If it's FOMC meeting minutes. Okay. Uh but this is the one that doesn't have the press conference at 2:30. So this might be a little bit less volatile. But yeah, for that 2 p.m., I'll be on the lookout for those rejection areas. Because I told you guys for those rejection scalps, you would be you'd be looking to take them during high periods of volatility, either the first few hours of market open or first few hours of market open or during heavy news releases. But since we have that news event at 2 p.m., probably the market will range up until then. Here for US, so US 30 is coming back up. So what I would want to see here, let me take off this one's right here so that the screen becomes a little clearer. So we already know that we have some SAR levels around here. So we need this 15-minute candle to close. So if I turn them back on, we need this 15-minute candle to close above here. So if we get a closure, and we have 22 seconds, I don't think it will come back and close above here. So maybe the next 15-minute candle will be the one that will come back and close up here. So 8, 7, yeah. So this one will probably not close above here. But for this ones, normally you just want a closure above. So a rejection and closure above, and you can see the trend lines have automatically adjusted. So here, price can come here, get a rejection, support, and close above here, above this SAR, and that's where like maybe we can take one. But right now for US 30, since the trend lines have adjusted, price is in between the top and bottom trend lines, so probably won't get a trade. Maybe the trade would come somewhere here. So if we get a candle that comes and test this trend line at the bottom and this trend line does not shift, and then that candle closes above the trend line and closes above the SAR, then ideally what personally I'm normally looking for the trend line and SAR rejections, you do stop loss below the previous low and you go for a 1:2. So maybe this would be like a 50-point stop loss, 50-point TP trade. But until that comes in, I really don't see anything here for US 30 just as of yet. BTC, we had a rejection resistance here on the 30-minute time frame. And let's see. All right, so if we turn on the SAR levels, so same thing here for BTC. So you can see it's closed below on the 30-minute time frame, closed below 1, 2, 3, 4, about 8 SARs, right? So the entry here would not be, yes, you can do below the closest SAR. It's done with stop loss above the previous high, but for me, I always go for the most optimal SAR. So for the 30-minute time frame, BTC, the trade I would take would be somewhere around here. And since this is close enough to the 15-minute entry, I would rather just keep the 30-minute entry and then take the 15-minute entry as well. And you can see here, so for BTC in this instance, it went down further before coming back up. So even here on the 30-minute time frame, I think we'll just end up canceling this particular trade here, because normally you want price to come back and tag you in first and then go to TP, as opposed to go towards your direction first and then come back up. So for this particular trade on BTC, unfortunately, so you can see we are like 90% or 80% on the way to where the $5,500 TP would be if we would have just taken the trade when it validated here, as opposed to waiting for the retracement. So for this particular reason, this one, I will just cancel out the BTC entry and BTC alert here on the 15-minute, and then we'll just see if we get any other entries here. We have a BTC rejection resistance on the hourly time frame. So here on the hourly, same thing, right? The hourly time frame, the most optimal entry would be all the way up here. So as much as BTC has closed here. Sure, this would be, so it's closed below 1, 2, and 3 SARs. So this, if you're taking the one that's closest to where price has closed, then you would need a wider stop loss. So this one you would need a 9, what is this? You'd need a you need $1,000 stop loss, or maybe $1,500 stop loss and $1,500 TP. That right? That's if you're trading this one on the hourly right there. But for me personally, I like to wait for the most optimal closure. So which would be there, and then I have a shorter TP and stop loss. So with this one, I can get away with like a $500 TP and stop loss. But I would need price to come back up before it keeps going down. So that's the only downside about waiting for the most optimal entries, that not every time will price come back and tag you in. Gold rejection support on the hourly time frame. So we had a rejection support here on gold. So you can see price rejected from this bottom trend line. Unfortunately, we didn't close above this SAR, green SAR right here, because if we did, then I would be looking for a buy on gold here with stop loss below this and that. But unfortunately, we did not close above this green SAR. So um, for today, I don't know if we'll get any entries here. Again, let's see. Um, for the rejection, no entry on the 1530, no entry on the hourly as well. But so the only trade I'm in is that gold sell that we entered yesterday on the daily candle. I'll stay on for 10 more minutes. So unfortunately today again as well, no trades. So just keep in mind this rejection scalps, this ones are mostly following. So this one is just, I'm sorry, will just be forward testing. So my main accounts only take the major rejection entries on the hourly, 4-hour, and daily with like a wide stop loss or wider stop loss and TP. So I still haven't gotten a hang of any of this scalp entries. So unless they match up with anything that you guys do, like even for me, I wouldn't take them on my main accounts. Maybe after we see how they perform after maybe 2 or 3 weeks, that's when I would consider taking them on my main accounts. But the only trade I'm in is this gold sell. So this one looks pretty good, especially with these two rejection lines here. So this daily and hourly rejection levels right there. So it looks good. Only thing is that, again, this trade might take days, if not weeks, to hit, because we have an $80 TP and $80 stop loss. The good thing I see about this particular trade is that as much as it's an $80 TP and stop loss, where we have this order block right here, this hourly bearish order block, this one would be a nice one to hit TP. And also you can see we have a rejection level that's right here. 2865, we have this daily rejection level for a buy. So price is in between two major rejection levels. So a daily rejection level at the top and a daily rejection level at the bottom right here. So we might expect some consolidation with gold around this area. But if gold keeps breaking up, then of course the next psychological level is 2990 and then 3000. And if they get to this big levels in the thousands, normally they'll shoot price up like $20 or $30 before any meaningful retracement under the 1,000 mark. So if gold gets up here at 30.10 and I get stopped out of this trade, it's just there's nothing more we could have done for that one other than even going for for $100 TP and stop loss, which again is pretty high. All right, so US 30, if you look at these candles right here, so the other thing to look at is the wicks. So if you look at the wicks at any given situation, they'll tell you like the direction price is going. So you can see this heavy wick rejection from the bottom, and then you ask yourself, where did it reject from? It rejected from the 4-hour bullish low order block. Okay, the next candle had a wick as well, and that wick was higher than the low. That week's low, ideally it was a higher low. And again, they're all rejecting from this 4-hour bullish order block. Unfortunately, there was no entry here. I wish we had a nice entry here on the hourly for US 30. So we did have it right here. The only thing for this hourly entry is that we were in a zone of, um, you know, a overlap of zones between the red and green. So, and with this particular trades right here that are in overlap of zones and even in the hourly and 4-hour time frames, for me, I go for wider stop losses here. So compared to the scalps that I was talking about, this particular one, right, it would be like $100 TP and stop loss, but I'm sorry, 100-point TP and stop loss. But due to the overlap of these zones, it means that this selling pressure is creeping into this demand. So with 100-point TP and stop loss, this trade would not be guaranteed to hit TP because this selling pressure might keep coming back down and then price is forced down right here. And you can see we have a weekly bearish low order block there. But if we did not have that overlap of supply and demand zones right there, this is a trade I would have taken here because we had two confluences that aligned. We had a rejection candle right here on this zone, and then I would have set my pending order there, and then I would have let price ride. But due to that overlap of zones, it did not satisfy all three confluences there. Let's see. So in 5 minutes, I'll just cut off the stream since there's nothing here. Yeah, BTC ended up melting pretty nicely, but unfortunately, it did not come back to give any entries. Oh. Yeah, I don't see anything else lining up, so that will be it for today's live session. So this week, only one trade that's still running. So hopefully we get more trades. So it's just about being patient. And we'll see whether we get anything more. So if I do get any hourly entries, I will send them in the Discord. So I did see something for US 30 here at 44,200. So if we get down here for US 30 at this rejection level, 44,200 area, and we get an hourly candle, we get an hourly candle that rejects and closes above, that will be a buy. So I will send that as well. Same thing for gold here. But for gold, if price gets down to this area, 29.20, and rejects and closes above, that wouldn't be a buy entry because it wouldn't satisfy confluence number. I think it's confluence number 3 because confluence number 3, if you're buying, make sure there are no bearish order blocks. So at this buy or bullish rejection level right here, we also have the low of a bearish order block. So that's not a trade I would take. So the only possible trade that may come up is this a buy for US 30 at 44,200. It may get triggered during the FOMC release at 2 p.m. later on today. Possible sell as well here at 44,620. But even at that level, price would be in a overlap of zones, because you can see the green zone and red zone are overlapping. So actually for both of these entries right here, probably not going to take them. If when price gets to one or the other, we still have an overlap of the zones, I would not take that. So it just depends on what the zones will be looking like when price gets to them. So same thing with gold. So the only trade personally I'm in right here is this gold entry that's right here. But other than that, I'll see you guys during tomorrow's